Oh my goodness. It worked. It worked. I'm going to shut off my computer. Let you guys know. Okay. I know that there is questions in the chat of my first live. I have no idea what I'm doing technologically, so I don't know if I set it up wrong, but it is, the wheels are just spinning and spinning on my computer. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep it up so I can see some of the comments on there. Oh, you guys are jumping on this one. You can see me. Okay, perfect. I'm just gonna close that computer so it doesn't distract me. What a pain in the butt. For some reason it works from my cell phone, but it's not working from my computer. This has absolutely happened before. So I'm really sorry about me not knowing much about computers. It was probably something that I did, but thank you for staying with me and for meeting me here on a Saturday night. I'm sure you guys all have busy lives, but I am super excited to talk to you guys. It's been a while. I know I've been a little bit absent from my YouTube channel. When I got back from the UK, I hit the ground running with missing person cases, with readings and my classes and everything. So yeah, it's been a little bit busy. Hi, Lori. She's wearing my sweatshirt. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I just made a bunch of these sweatshirts. They are available in studio. They have my 1111 on them. Gotta have that. They are available in studio, or if you live in Canada, I'm only gonna ship them across Canada if you want one. But they are $68 and $20 in shipping. And that's just to get the box and ship it to you across Canada. I can't believe how much shipping has gone up. So I'm not making anything on shipping or anything, just send it to you what it is. But yeah, if you're interested in one, just send me an email, info@patriciamona.com, and I will definitely set it up with you and send one your way. So thank you guys, everybody, joining from the US and joining everywhere. It's so great to see you guys all on here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think we've got some very important things. I look like I've got wings coming out of my head because I'm doing it now from my phone instead of my computer. But actually now you guys get to see my studio. And if you're wondering what that is in the background, this is called holophotonic healing. And as you can see, the diagram all moves, and there is music that goes with it, but I didn't want it to interfere with my voice, so I turned the music off. But anyways, it projects the most beautiful healing energy in the room, so I figured, hey, why not? And then if you could see all of those stones in the middle there, I actually have a crystal grid that is glued to my wall. So the energy in here it's pretty sacred. It's my home away from home, my second home. So it's wonderful to be able to share the energy of it with you, especially on a Saturday night. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we've got some really important things to talk about, because it just seems like the world is kind of losing its mind. So I'll get my notes. I made notes on this stuff because there's so much to say, and I always get nervous when I do these things. Hence my water. It's just water. But I get dry mouth really bad when I get nervous on these. So yeah, that's why you see me chugging so much water. Okay, Patty says, hi Patricia, it's interesting how you said October secrets would be coming out, and it seems like a lot of celebrity secrets are surfacing. Hopefully the truth keeps on coming out. I haven't been keeping up in the news with celebrities and all that, but man, oh man, I felt it. I felt that October was really gonna be a doozy. I do, at the beginning of each month, I do a psychic and astrological tune-in with an amazing astrologer named Susan Reynolds. She's so awesome. And we don't compare notes. We don't have a clue. I don't know what she's going to say at the beginning. We just say, hey, does, October 27th at 2 p.m. work for you? Yep, great, see you there. And we click record. And that's how it goes down. And so it's really neat to be able to see when our notes match up. Astrologically wise compared to me with my remote viewing, because I know nothing about astrology. It's interesting because she mentioned, both of us picked up that September and October would be a doozy, but she said it would be a little bit lighter in October than September. And I kind of beg to differ, because the energy of October actually felt more chaotic than September did. And a lot of personal attacks going on. So if you're seeing attacks happening within your family or disagreements where it's like, what? I never said that. What's going on here? Miscommunications, things like that. That's the October energy. It has been a very intense October. And it isn't just on a personal scale. It's on a global scale as well. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. And we're going to end the evening with a global meditation and prayer, just to send out some of that light that we have within us. When we come together as a group, it's amplified big time. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, when we come together with that common intention to heal, that's exactly what we are putting out into the quantum field and all across the world. So we'll do that towards the end of the video. But first, I kind of wanted to talk about what I've been picking up. So if you guys have been following me since 2020, actually, I think it was 2020 when I started doing these videos, as a way to be able to reach out and have my voice be heard, because I just knew that what was happening was wrong. It didn't feel right to me. Think back to 2020, because I remember at the beginning of that year, I said, I can feel Hitler's consciousness coming back. I can feel it. It's an energy. It's an energy. The man who Adolf Hitler was just an avatar. That was just the human meat suit. It was the evil entities working through that man that literally seeped into the minds and hearts of millions of people that thought it was okay to try and wipe out a whole bloodline, a bloodline. Can you imagine that? It's mind-blowing to me, absolutely mind-blowing. And people went along with it. And they went along with it so easily. And even if they knew in their hearts that what they were doing was wrong, they still went along with it. Whether it was complacency, I'm just doing what I was told, or a genuine hatred for another human being that they don't even know just because they were born into a particular meat suit, a Jewish one. How was that right? So this has, ever since I was a child, actually, because about the age of 12 is when I saw Schindler's List, and that movie stuck with me. It really scarred me, because I could not understand how people could be that cruel to each other. And it's the behaviors of the people that went along with it, the behaviors, the hatred. That's an energy, you guys. That's a force, an energy. And at the beginning of 2020, I could feel that consciousness coming back, that evil force of entities that believe in that paradigm. I could feel it in the air. I could feel it. And so I started trying to be brave enough to talk about it, because that's quite the thing to say. And then COVID hit. And we started to see this behavior of me against you, vaccinated against the unvaccinated, right? The paradigm split, the division, we saw it. And then came the restrictions. And when I started looking into the restrictions at the beginning of the Holocaust, at the beginning of World War II, they were lockstep with what we were seeing. Totally lockstep. The students weren't allowed to go and sit in their universities to do their tests. They weren't allowed in businesses where Germans were. Jewish doctors were not allowed to practice outside of their blood. They even, I've been doing my research on this stuff because it's pretty scary that people went along with this, but they even made it so that a Jewish person could not marry a German person, couldn't have sex with them. It was against the law. Now, what defined a Jewish person in those days? It wasn't just this first line who are alive. It was anyone who had Jewish origins or blood 3 to 4 generations back. So we're talking your, not just your grandparents, but your great, great, great grandparents. If they were of Jewish bloodline, you were considered a Jew. And you were put into that category where you weren't allowed to go anywhere and you had to carry your papers with you. And it just got worse and worse, right? So I started thinking to myself, why would they want to wipe out a bloodline? What's that about? What's that about? Because that kind of reminds me of the story of Moses. And when the Jewish people had to paint the blood of the lamb over their door so the spirit of death and destruction wouldn't touch them. Well, why the blood of the lamb? Well, we know in the Bible, the blood of the lamb represents innocence, purity, right? And you have to think, there's power in our blood. There's power in our bloodline. This is why you see families of doctors, families of police officers and firemen. It's something that's in their blood. They can't explain it. They're just drawn to it. It's why we also have alcoholism that's passed down through the bloodlines, drug addictions, sexual abuse. It's an inherited trait, personality, whatever it is. And the neat thing about that is that I saw it for myself because I went to Ireland just this summer and met with my cousins for the first time, which was the most amazing thing in the world. I can't even describe that to you because my one cousin, she was identical to me. Identical to me. I felt like I was looking in the mirror. And when we got talking, we found out that we have a ton of inherited traits, such as sucking our thumbs when we were younger or twirling our hair when we're tired. I still twirl my hair when I'm tired. It's what puts me to sleep. So does she. An inherited trait from someone that I don't even know, all across the way from Ireland and Canada. And she's just like me. So what's in our bloodline that passes down? The thumb sucking or the twirling of the hair or the bravery. You know, you look at even families of military that their children just go, that's exactly who I want to be. And they have every aspect of what they need within them to actually become it. Not everybody can be a soldier and kill someone, right? Not everyone can become a doctor and save people. That takes a certain type of dedication and a certain type of person. And yes, we learn things while we're in this realm, but we also know things. We're born with an innate knowing. And there are things that we just know, right? So let's get back to the power in the blood. You look back at the pharaohs in Egypt, for example. Let's go way back. They used to interbreed. They would sleep with their sisters and marry their cousins. Why? Because they did not want to dilute the power that was in the blood, that's in the bloodline. And I truly, truly believe that. I believe that the people walking this earth, we are a fraction of the gifts that we actually have inside of us. Why do the powers that be not want us to know how powerful we are? Because if we sit and we don't know things, and we don't know how to stand in our power, and we feed into fear, we're easily controlled, very easily controlled, right? So the power in the blood, I'm still trying to figure this one out. What power in the blood do they have that Hitler wanted to wipe them out so badly, so badly? Because although that happened way back in the 30s and the 40s, they're still after them today. There is still a group of Hitler's consciousness that is after those people today. So when was it? I have it written down. I think it was October 6th. 23andMe had a massive data breach. So if you have given your DNA away to 23andMe, I did, that's how I found my cousins. Don't worry, there will be a massive class action lawsuit. So I hope you do jump on that when that's announced. Because they took everything about you. They know everything about you, these data hackers now do. Think about that. You know what they know? The data breach includes your sex, your birth year, your genetic ancestry results, and your geographical ancestry information, right down to where you are. That's scary. But from what it looks like, these data hackers really were concentrating on the Jewish bloodlines. One in particular. It's called the Ashkenazi Jewish bloodline. Why? Why? Haven't these people been through enough? I'm not claiming to know much about history. I'm just, in my head, something didn't seem right about this. And I know I'm onto something. I know I'm onto something here. Because this is a holy war that we're watching go down right now, that we're witnessing. And it's an ancient holy war that started long before you and I ever got here. And now we're literally seeing it play out in our time. So how does this apply to you and I? If it's a spiritual war, the greatest thing that you can know is who you are at this time. Know your truth. Stand in your truth. Who are you? Who are you? Can you rise above fear and stand up for what's right and do what's right? Can you do what's right? When you see a misjustice happening in front of you, can you stand up and do the right thing? Because it's going to be needed. We're not through the 2020 energy. It's not done. 2020 is not done. That's an energy. That was an energy. And I'll tell you how that even was a spiritual war. I'll tell you. Let's go deep. So, as you know, that virus was something that we couldn't see. Can't see, right? We're scared of what we can't see. Only certain people got that. A lot of people got it. A lot of people got it. I didn't. I put up literally a shield of light around me every single day. Lit it up from the inside out, because the thing is that it has to go through your auric field in order to enter your body and then take effect. If it's burning up within your auric field, it ain't having a chance to riddle my body. So it didn't. Didn't even have a sniffle throughout the whole pandemic. Nothing. I should find some wood to knock on it, but still, nothing. Nothing. Spirit told me only certain people will get it because we signed up for that experience. Some people signed up not to get it, not to experience it, like me. And others experienced it. So how did that affect you? What level of fear did you feed into when you got it? If you did, right? Here's the other thing. There is an ancient Hebrew demon by the name of Divok that speaks backwards. Now, I want you to think back to the 80s when rock and roll would embed, I'm sure you heard of this, would embed messages. And if you played it backwards on the record player, you could literally hear a demonic message being played backwards, right? And the thing is, everything is frequency. Oh, that was in the 60s, Steve. Oh my goodness. I heard about it in the 80s with I don't even know who it was, but I know a bunch of them did it. So here's the thing. Every time we said that C word, we were invoking something into our atmosphere, our reality. Because Divok, spelled backwards, is COVID. And I don't like saying that word. It never felt right to say that word, so I erase and delete that. I delete that energy. I just wanted to point it out, how spiritual, and it's right in front of our face. But if you don't practice spiritual discernment, you'll never see it. And then you'll go, oh, that's just conspiracy. Oh, she's crazy. What do you need? The 7 horsemen of apocalypse to come and be in your face before you see that you are so much more than your physical body? So much more than our physical bodies. And it's right in our face. It's right in our face. Excellent, Anna. She says, I didn't get it. I think it's because I wasn't afraid. Me neither. I never wore a mask, and I certainly didn't shut down my business. Wasn't having none of that. And not one person got sick in my space. Not one. It's kind of like painting the blood of the lamb over my house. I suggest you do that too. I really do. Now, who do you call upon when you're afraid? Who do you talk to? Yes, we all have angels. We all have angels. Absolutely, we have guardian angels. We have a team that walks with us every day. But some days I just want the big boss. So I was brought up calling on the Lord Jesus Christ. And it's interesting because I never thought I'd talk about it publicly. But that's my go-to. That is my go-to. When I'm doing a space clearing, it's the Lord Jesus Christ I'm asking to walk and clear it with me, work through me. Use me as your vessel. Use me as your light. That's the only spirit I want working through me. Because I know that this is a holy war. And I think we need, as a society, to get right with our source. How do you plug in? Fran, yay! Oh, I love it. My cousin Fran in Dublin, Ireland. Oh, thank you, because it's like 4:30 in the morning, I think there, or 3:30 in the morning. So Fran, thank you so much for joining. I love it, I love it, I love it. That's so awesome. I love it. But yeah, when we're fighting a holy war, that's who I call upon. So the choice is yours, but that's who shows up for me. And it's interesting, so does my cousin, so does my blood. That is so cool. So anyways, as I was saying, we need to be vigilant about standing in our power, speaking our truth, knowing who we are and what we bring to the table. Because if we don't figure that out right now, we're in trouble for what comes next. So let's talk about that. So, since about 2020, I've been talking about 2025. If you watch my previous videos, you'll hear me saying something's coming, I can feel it, something's coming. And when I remote view 2025, it doesn't feel good. It feels very chaotic. It feels like it could potentially be the energy of another world war or another COVID situation. Sit down, shut up, you're not going anywhere for another 3 years. It's something, you guys. There's something in 2025. And when I'm looking, we're at the end of 2023. And I don't think that 2024 is going to be less chaotic. I think it's going to mount. So I can give you guys a bunch of advice regarding that. But I think that the energy of 2025 could possibly leak in to the last few months of 2024. So, and if you think about it, what are all these countries doing? They're getting in position is what they're doing. And I am not talking about this to elicit fear in any way, shape, or form. I'm talking about it because we need to know. We need to know, right? We need to prepare in whatever way that we can. So the greatest thing that we can do is exude peace. And like Steve just said, I do not consent. It's almost over on my timeline. Excellent, excellent. Because chances are you won't be standing in a war zone. So in your timeline, it is over, right? In my timeline, it is over. Because I also won't be standing on the front lines. But someone's children will. And so we need to pray for them. We need to hold them in peace. Pray for change in the hearts and minds of these archaic government puppets. Because if you think that our governments are actually run by Trudeau, Biden, all the Zelensky, all of them, they're just puppets for something so much bigger than them. That's why half of them are actors. Look at how many politicians are actors. Why? Ask yourself why. Why is that what they retire into? Right? It's an acting job. So there's resources on the line, and they don't care who they kill in order to get it. And I think that that's pretty sick. I also think that there is something about terrorizing bloodlines and trying to wipe them out. I'm still trying to figure that out. When I figure that out, I'll let you guys know, because something's not right there. There is power in our bloodlines. Absolutely there is. So we need to pray. We need to pray for humanity. That, because here's the thing. Like I said, Hitler was a paradigm. So are we. So are we. We, the free thinkers. The ones who want to make this world a better place. Who want to change it. I don't know one person out there that, you know, in our day and age, with what we know, who would want this. But yet it's still happening. It's happening. It's happening with people's children. It's happening with our taxpayer dollars. It's happening without our consent. So we need to pray for change and pray for protection. Because like I said, there is a massive spiritual war that's happening, that's taking place right now. So what can you do on an individual? How is this going to affect you? Well, I don't think that the interest rates are going to be getting any lower any sooner. So if you are in a variable rate still, I suggest you lock in. For people who want to make big investments over the next year, I'd just maybe wait and put your money in a high interest e-savings account. Just wait. Because the energy feels like it's starting to get volatile. Not so much. 2023 I knew was safe. It's interesting because I have another cousin in Ireland who said to me, he's like, oh, don't come this summer. He goes, it'll be all out war out here. And I said, no, it won't. No, that's 2025. I still have some time to travel. So I went because I knew it wasn't going to happen this year. I don't necessarily think it's happening next year for the most part. Maybe possibly, like I said, towards the end of 2024. But it's 2025 that we got to pray for that timeline, because the one that this world is sitting on is pretty destructive. And like I said, I don't consent to it, and I know y'all don't either. So we got to change that one. And yeah, like Steve said in the comments, be the change. So how do you do that? You become the living example. You become the voice for people who are too afraid to speak up. That's what I did over the pandemic. And that's why you guys are watching me. I spoke my truth. And I sit before you and I speak my truth. And I thank God that I did, because I know that there's a lot of people that chose their sovereignty because I spoke up. And I also know that there's a lot of people that regret it. Because every day, especially over the last 3 weeks, every day I keep hearing of people with injuries from what they were forced to take. So if you know who you are and you stand in your truth, you're not easily swayed. You're not easily swayed. And that's what we need. We need people who are not easily swayed. Canadians, we are loving people. So of course we wanted to save grandma and protect our neighbor, right? So I know that there's a lot of people who thought they were doing the right thing. But here's the other question. Because there's power in the blood. What was in that bloody thing? What was in that thing? Because why is there so many people with vaccine injuries, with blood clots, with myocarditis? One of the ones, just in case there's anyone watching this having these symptoms, if you've had weird heart palpitations, go get checked. Because it's myocarditis, pericarditis. The other one is kidneys. I heard it a couple times this week of people having kidney issues, and their tests come back like they're dehydrated for some reason, even though they can keep drinking water. For some reason, their levels come back that they're dehydrated. So something's going on with kidneys as well. Blood clots, hemorrhaging, women getting their period after menopause. So why did everybody have to take it? Because it's not one shoe fits all. And we know that in this day and age. We know that. This is why we support minorities. Because it's not one shoe fits all. Yes, Christy, neurological issues. Yes, bad neurological issues. So I royally suggest, if you have been feeling off since you got it, go look up what the symptoms are of the injuries. But I would do it under a protected browser like DuckDuckGo. because Google tells you one thing, but it censors a lot. So, okay, let me see if if there's anything else that I didn't cover so far. Okay. Oh my goodness, Lori. I'm so sorry about your brother-in-law. She says brother-in-law has rapid cancer spread in 2 to 3 weeks span. Yes, that's the other thing I've heard of, turbo cancers. I should have written this stuff down. Yeah. Jessica, do you feel the vax can shed to us unvaxxed through saliva or bodily fluids? Well, yeah, it even says it right on the Pfizer website and stuff, and on the NIH's website, that it can shed. And I read it where it said, like, if you've been newly vaccinated, you shouldn't be breastfeeding, shouldn't have sex, and it says for 2 weeks. So I'm assuming that's when it is most transmissible. But oh, Leanne, I'm so sorry. My mother died in January from leukemia. Leukemia, that's the other thing too. The leukocytes, very, very low leukocytes. That's right. The white blood cells completely are diminished. I totally forgot about that. I am so sorry about your mom. That is brutal. Patty says, how much information are you picking up and allowed to see as a remote viewer? Do they tell you at all, or do you still get surprised like us? Well, sometimes I don't look. Sometimes I don't want to know. And I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I guess when I ask to see something, I'll usually get the answer. But there are some times where the information isn't available to me. I don't see everything. So I honestly think 2025 is going to be the best year ever. Star family reunions. Somehow I feel the exact opposite about that year. Hang on to that. It probably will be the best year of your life. I'm just talking about what's happening globally, right? But think about where we are. We're pretty darn protected. If you're in Canada or you're in the US, you're pretty protected, right? So chances are it will be the best year of your life. And that is your experience that you are taking home. So that's your timeline, right? I expect it to be a good year for me too. But for the rest of the world, I don't think it's going to be so great. But here's the other thing. In a time of war or destruction, that is when people are on their knees the most, right? So we will be bombarded with angels one way or another. We will have, like you said, star family reunions, because we're calling them in at a much higher rate than ever before. It's usually when we're in a state of fear that we're begging to feel their presence. So yeah, I'm sure there will be a lot of reunions. Melanie says, some of my fellow massage therapists would not allow newly vaxxed to book so they could not shed. Yes, I've heard of that. And it's funny you say that, because I went to a massage therapist who also told me that as well. So, yeah. Christina, I'm scared to even get my kids regular vaccines because I'm worried they'll sneak this stuff in because I refuse the other. I know one of my best friends is about to give birth, and I couldn't believe, I went with her to a couple of her appointments because they were trying to really push some other vaccine on her, and she was just a little nervous saying no, so she brought me in there. We got that all figured out. So yeah, I hear ya. I do. And I've got to say though, in all fairness, it all comes with side effects. It all does, right? But so it's a crapshoot, and I think they knew that. They knew that when they were doing it, that it was a lottery because someone was going to die from it. Even if one person dies from it, there's still people dying from it, right? However, this is the observation that I made. when people started coming into my office after they got vaccinated, I noticed that their auric field, there was something wrong with it, because it was all, instead of it being full of colors and, you know, pinks and greens and yellows and stuff, it looked gray. It looked gray and black and had specks in it, all black specks all through it. Almost like fuzz, like when, you know, back in the day when the TVs would turn off and it would look like a bug race on the screen. Yeah, that's what it looked like in someone's auric field. So for me, it was like, whoa. And I didn't understand what it was at first until I found out the commonality. However, myself, my kids, well, actually, I don't think they have all of them, but they have 90% of them. I've got all of mine except for this one. This and the flu shot, I don't do any of that stuff. But everybody looked normal to me until this one came out. So I definitely don't think that the other ones are as bad as this one, but I mean, that's tough. It's tough knowing now what we know. If I had little ones, I don't think I'd be lining them up at all. I mean, look at the rise in autism since that came out, you know? And I mean, look what they were doing to pregnant women with thalidomide. So trust the science. No, it's question the science, because any good scientist, that's what they do. They question the science, and that's how it becomes science. So how much longer until Trudeau is gone? Oh, he's gone after this. This next election, he won't win. Oh, he's in the dumpsters burning. I think even the people that, you know, absolutely loved that man are fed up with what he's doing to this country, because it's mind-blowing what Trudeau has done to this country. What do you think about warnings to get out of Canada? Where are you gonna go? The whole world is on fire. Where are you gonna go? Oh, and that's the other thing. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about this too. So it's interesting how Spirit shows me let's connect the dots, Patricia. Back in, I think it was May, it was before all these fires that were burning across Canada and the US. The very first one that happened was in May. And the funniest thing was, they decided to try and say it was climate change when it wasn't. It was a bunch of female BC firefighters learning about controlled back burns, and it got out of control. But of course, Trudeau took it upon himself to get on his high horse and, you know, spout climate change. So I started going, okay, when I started seeing these fires coming in, raging out of control, where is it burning? I started noticing a pattern. I looked up. Where are they planning these 15-minute cities? Because they're already being implemented in Canada. They're not hiding it. It's on Canada's website, the government's website. And I looked. I got the graph, actually, from their website, and I compared it to where the fires were burning across Canada. And they're right on par, right on par. And guess what? Think about it. They've got to destroy it in order to build back better. The thing that they keep saying, build back better. That's exactly what they're going to do, because you can't just go along and tear down a city or a town that they want to make into a 15-minute city. You need a reason. Well, if it's burnt down, then the land is contaminated, so the government owns it, right? And they can basically do what they want and pay the landowners pennies on the dollars for it, take it over, now they own it, and they can build that little 15-minute city all they want, that little outdoor jail. That's what this is their plan. Same thing with, did you notice how a lot of ATMs are gone? I did. And banks, they want to get rid of banks and ATM. Mark my words. I'm saying this, what are we? October 21st, 2023. Start noticing it. Because by 2000, 2030, 2035, there won't be cash. They are absolutely pushing the World Economic Forum's idea and bringing in the digital currency. Well, what do you think that digital currency is going to be hooked up to? You. You. You're the product. We become the product. The end game here, mark my words, it is that microchip. It is that mark of the beast. And why is it called the beast? Because it houses everything. Everything. Your bank records, your SIN number, your driving records, your health records, where you are. You're track and traceable when you got a chip in you. This is that Hitler consciousness that's come back, that wants to control, dominate, work through you. So that's why it just made me wonder what was in that thing that everybody had to have it. Just a question. But where we're moving, there is a massive agenda behind it. So if you have never heard of the World Economic Forum, you've got to look that stuff up so that you know what's coming down the lines. Why did Bill Gates become the biggest farm owner all of a sudden? Because if you control the food source, you control the people. So support local as much as you can. How can you work against that? Support local. Find a local cattle rancher. Find a local farmer. Grow your own. Then you know what's in it, right? But we live in such a fast-paced society that a lot of us don't even know how to grow tomatoes. Don't even have a clue, right? We've lost a lot through the convenience of industrialization and these phones and devices and everything that takes up all of our day, but is supposed to make it easier and quicker. It doesn't really, because now we've become slaves to these devices. Everyone carries it with them. Well, they're gonna be able to sell that little microchip by saying everything that's on that phone, all of your Apple Pay and everything, look, it's in the scan of your hand. What are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do? I know a lot of you guys watching this wouldn't stand for that. I wouldn't. I'm running for the hills if that ever happens. I know better. I know I'm eternal, and I'm more worried about my soul, where that's going, than I am about my body. So, yeah, that wouldn't be happening to me. But, and that's another reason why I decided not to take the vaccine. Looked a lot like the mark of the beast to me. If everybody's being forced to have it and you can't go anywhere or buy anything or anything like that, yeah, anything that remotely has that energy, yeah, I wasn't having it. But I understand completely that everyone needs to do what's right for them. That is just me being vocal, telling you my stance. So, okay. I think that with all of that being said, is there any questions? Any other questions? I wasn't. Banks closing in Australia. You can't take out much cash at all. Yeah, and I heard that they've capped how much you can take out. And did you know here in Canada, you can't pay more than $10,000 cash for anything? You're not allowed, apparently. This is a new thing. I don't know if it's a new thing or an old thing, and I just found out. But yeah, you can't buy anything over $10,000 in cash. Probably because they're getting rid of it. So, let's do a mini meditation, because I just realized that my phone is, my battery's getting a little bit low. I I had to really quickly put it on my phone in order to do the live because it wasn't working on my computer for some reason. But I absolutely love that we have such an amazing group of light workers that get it. I know that you guys get it, or you wouldn't be listening to this. I know you guys get it. So let's, is it okay? Good question. Is it worth marching with stuff like Million March for Children? Yeah, it is. I was at the rallies every weekend. I was at the rallies, and it was the greatest sense of humanity and community that I ever felt. It was just amazing. But if you believe in it, that's the thing. If you believe in it, where do you stand? If you don't believe in it, don't put that energy into it. But if you stand for it and you believe in what they stand for, absolutely. Go to the rallies, go to the marches. The more people, the better, so that they know we are a force to be reckoned with. That was the whole point of the convoy, and look what it did. He had to pull out the Emergencies Act for bouncy castles, you know. But yet you look at some of the riots and the protests that are happening in the States, where people are getting gunned down and mowed down, and police cars turned over, and businesses rioting and looting, and we are Canadian. We're better than that. We know, like, we just, I don't know. Canadians are just not like that. And that's why it lasted 3 weeks of community, of standing together in solidarity and sovereignty and allowing their voices to be heard. And I believed in that. That's where I stood too. So I went. Okay. Any way to reverse the impact of the shot, side effects for people? Good question. Oh, I'm glad you asked. Okay, so first off, for anyone who has had any side effects, go get a D-dimer test done. It tests for microclots in the blood. D- and then D-I-M-E-R, a D-dimer test. Test for microclots in the blood. Up here in Canada, yes, you can get it done at a private lab. It's $157. That's with the tax, so it's $150. So anyways, I did my wrong math there. It would be 150, yeah, it would, 157 with the tax. D-dimer test. And then the second thing too, find someone who does live blood analysis. That's my second piece of advice, live blood analysis. They should be able to see what's going on. I've heard that chelation is really good for it. Heavy metal detox is really good for it. But I would definitely go and see a naturopath. Don't take my word for it. I'm not a doctor, but I'm a retired nurse that now works for God. But yeah, go see a naturopath, because if you go and you tell your doctor that you want a D-dimer test, they'll know what you're getting at. They'll know that you're testing for microclots. So I don't know, I'd go to a private lab for it. Patty, are we getting help from ETs or other beings in the universe to overcome this? Is this like the last chance we are given to turn this planet around? I don't know, it feels kind of like we woke up in the book of Revelations to me. It's looking pretty biblical to me. Are there benevolent beings that are out there helping us? Absolutely there is. Absolutely. But you have to remember, we are here to observe, not absorb. What's happening in front of you, the only and major thing that you can control is your perspective, your actions, and your reactions. right? So the number one way these benevolent beings can help us is by aligning our thoughts with the actions that we need to see to be the change, right? But here's the thing, be careful. Oh, that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, okay. I don't think that the world is going to self-combust or, blow up in our lifetime. I don't think that. I think it still continues. I don't think anyone has the power to do that until it is in God's time. But yes, I definitely think that there is benevolent beings that are helping us on a day-to-day basis get through this. Because there's worse things that we've been through, right? There's, how did our grandparents and great-grandparents get through the Holocaust? To me, that's a living hell. And live to tell about it and still be a good person and not allow that kind of evil into their hearts. We are changed by their example. I think of Viktor Frankl. If you want a really, really good book to read A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. It was mind-blowing what that man went through and still maintained his peace. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to find our peace and maintain it and give it to others, exude it to others. Okay. Do I live in America? No, I'm Canadian. I'm in Calgary, Alberta. Christina, will that scary Freeland get in? No, I don't believe so. No. She is a horrid Nazi lady and scares me more than... I absolutely agree with you, Christina. More than JT, and he's no better, but that's a huge fear of mine. Yeah, no, she's full-on Hitler vibes. And they knew exactly, by the way, how disgusting of our Canadian Parliament. But last month, they actually honored a Nazi in the Canadian Parliament. And now as far as I'm concerned, they knew exactly who they were honoring. You tell me they're not doing background checks when Zelensky's in the House and he's the #1 political target in the world? You telling me you didn't do background checks on every single person, including the person you're gonna ask to stand up? That's pretty embarrassing and deplorable and irresponsible. But under JT's watch, doesn't surprise me. So no, Chrystia Freeland is very dangerous. She is part of the World Economic Forum, right on their website, open about it. And I truly believe that no one who is in any parliament should be a part of the World Economic Forum. I think that that's very dangerous because Klaus Schwab has actually bragged about how he's infiltrated the cabinetry and he literally has people all across the world in every nation doing his biting and bringing in his ideas. This is why they're pushing in the climate change and going after the farmers and going after the food supply. And it's awful. It's kind of gross being a grown-up and having to know all this stuff. It's awful. So what do? We can't feed into it, you guys. We can't feed into it because whatever happens, we just got to sit back and observe and do not absorb and do not take it in. We can't take it with us. That cannot be who we are. We got to find our peace. Because guess what? We can be happy on the best day. We can be happy on the worst day. We can be happy on death row. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's our perspective. And that's something that they can never take from us. They can't take our kindness, our compassion for humanity. They will never take that out of me. Never. So, before my phone dies, because it's not plugged in and it's on red, let's take a moment to close our eyes. Let's just connect our hearts. So take a nice cleansing breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just bring your awareness to this now moment, to the stillness in your body. Let's just begin by inviting in Mother, Father, God, highest order of archangels, warrior angels, and guardian angels. Let's call in the army of light to be with you now wherever you are, to flood this earth plane with their presence. I want you to imagine placing your hand in mine and the other hand in your guardian angels. And let's just begin to feel the energy of the largest group prayer for peace, unity, and love. Let's create a huge circle all across the planet as we all hold hands. Take a moment and just breathe in that pure divine light that ripples all across the world. Feel it as it touches the crown of your head, gently sweeping across your face. Relaxing the muscles in your neck and your shoulders. Take a nice big deep breath in of pure divine light. And exhale out all heaviness, any darkness. See it leaving your body. As that light passes down now, all through your torso, it opens your heart to a higher level of love, dissolving all hurt, all pain, simply leaves on the exhale. Just pour that light all the way down into your hips and your legs, into your feet, all the way down your torso. And now bringing your awareness to your arms and your hands. I want you to feel them light up with the highest divine resonance. Take a big, deep breath in through the palms of your hands. And exhale out that light, out through the hands that you hold. And see that light, that which you are, begin to embrace the world. So we ask our Heavenly Father to work through us and to us the highest vibration of love and peace. We open ourselves to be the living example of the change that we wish to see in this world. Lord, we ask for the strength to face all trials, all tribulations, anything thrown our way. And we gratefully receive the armor of God, the flaming sword and shield. We ask to be guarded, and protected at all times as we do the work each day. To bring love into this reality. And we ask for peace on earth. And we spread that vibration through every heart and mind of every man, woman, and child on this planet. We ask for immediate healing, immediate peace all across this globe. Take a nice, big, deep breath in. And see that peace enter every cell of your body. And allow your body to be the conduit for pure love. Pure divine light and connection pours into every cell of you. Take another deep breath, and I want you to see that light begin to open the pores of your body. And see that light emanate from every pore on your skin. With every breath, I want you to send that light out like ripples all across this reality. Into your home, into your workspace, into your life. And we ask for the light of God to neutralize all chaos within your life. Within this earthly realm. We ask for the divine alignment of spiritual discernment to flow through you and to you. so that you may see with the eyes of truth and know who you are. And feel that energy that is in the palms of your hands. Just bring your hands to your heart and feel that light pass from your palms into your chest. All heaviness dissolved. And every part of you ignited. And so it is. I hope that helps wherever you are. We need peace all across the world. Not just one country or another, but peace. It flows in your heart. And it makes you take a stand against things that rob your peace. And the greatest way to end war is to stop showing up to the game. Just stop showing up. So I thank you so much for joining me here tonight. I hope you felt that. And yes, Carmen, we are going to make it through this together. Yes, we are. I found my people. I found my community, which is really, really, really cool. It's awesome to know that I'm not alone in the way I think about this. And I'm sure you feel the same way. It's great to have someone who thinks along the same lines. You know, I'm just glad you guys see through the illusion, because it's just one big theater. And at the end of the day, I'm just a character in your play, and you're a character in mine. So thank you for being an amazing source of support, and knowing I'm not alone. I love it. I love it. So I hope that you guys have an amazing rest of your night. My next class that I'm teaching online is, I can't remember, but it's the cool one. It's the Psychic Connection. So I teach you how to do this stuff because that's the greatest thing that I can do. Oh, before I leave you guys, I got to tell you one more thing. Be careful of these teachers that claim to know that they have all the answers and everything, but yet dangle the carrot and not tell you the secret. That's terrible, terrible, terrible. It's just so wrong, so wrong. And they're charging thousands of dollars to do it. Don't listen to people like that. When I teach you exactly how I do what I do. I teach you because I think the greatest thing that I can do is honestly teach myself out of a job, because then you guys know your truth and you don't need to rely on me for mine, right? So I'm teaching a class online called The Psychic Connection. Can't remember when it is, but if you go to my website, patriciamona.com, you will find all of my classes there under the Psychic Development tab. So yeah, I hope you'll join me. So, okay, now I'm gonna go. Have an awesome, awesome Saturday night. God bless you guys. Thank you for being part of my world. Samira said it's on the 2nd and 8th. I think it's only one. It's one class. So I'll have to look. But thank you. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.